This fruit fly is dancing. A wrapped female takes in the show. She's particularly besotted by the dark spots on the male's wings. But in some species of fruit fly, the males don't have wing spots.
So there's another fruit fly species that's different from the spotted species in two important ways. It doesn't have spots on its wings, and it does a lot less dancing.
Here, then, is a classic evolutionary puzzle. Why does one type of fly have spots and the other doesn't? Sean Carroll wanted to know.
So we wanted to take apart the genetic machinery for making wing spots to understand how those wing spots evolved.
Carroll began the process of sifting through the two types of flies' DNA. He had one clue to set him on his way. He already knew the gene that codes for the black wing spots. He calls it the paintbrush gene. But surprisingly, when he compared the genes of the two flies, they both had that gene, and yet only one had spots.
When we look at that gene in the two species, really, they both have this paintbrush gene. So the big difference is not having the gene, it's how they use it. One species uses it in the wing to make spots. The other one doesn't.
In search of answers, Carroll turned to one of the least understood regions of DNA, the vast stretches that were once known as junk. The vast bulk of the double helix, some 98% of it, doesn't code for proteins, which make the stuff of our bodies. The genes which do comprise just 2%. Even now, no one is sure what much of this huge non-coding area actually does, but it has long beckoned evolutionary detectives like Sean Carroll. Carroll had already learned that the paintbrush gene itself was identical in the two types of fly, so he extended his search through their DNA. And in one place, just outside the paintbrush gene, he found a stretch of DNA that was different in the fly with wing spots. What could this mean? So Carroll conducted an experiment.
So you injecting glutathione today?
He decided to put that mysterious stretch of DNA that he found in the spotted fly in the unspotted fly. To help him see if it had any effect, he attached it to a gene from a jellyfish, a gene that codes for a protein that makes the jellyfish glow.
We cut the DNA up into little pieces, and we hook it up to a protein that glows in the dark. And then we inject that into the unspotted fly.
And then something remarkable happened.
When we looked at those unspotted flies, we see now their wings are glowing in the dark with spots.
Somehow, that mysterious stretch of DNA had turned on the paintbrush gene in the unspotted fly's wings. Once spotless, now it had luminous spots.
Bingo, we'd found the piece of DNA that mattered.
A piece of DNA called a switch. Switches are not genes. They don't make stuff like hair, cartilage, or muscle. But they turn on and off the genes that do.
Switches are very powerful parts of DNA because they allow animals to use genes in one place and not another, at one time and not another. And so choreograph the spots and stripes and splotches of animal bodies.
In the case of the fruit fly, it's a mutation, a change in just a few letters of the DNA that has caused the paintbrush gene to be switched on. And so a whole new species with wing spots has been created.